When we think of truly great leaders, we often picture people who can rally teams, move audiences, or lead organizations to new heights. But what separates the truly great from the merely good is not their charisma, their resume, or even their intelligence, is that they know how to inspire. And they do it by starting with why. The why is the core belief that drives everything a person does. It's the purpose, the cause, the vision, the reason behind the action. Great leaders don't begin by telling people what to do or how to do it. They begin by articulating why it matters, why we should care, why it connects to something bigger than ourselves. And when a leader speaks from that place, a place of purpose, it awakens something inside the people who follow them. It shifts their mindset from compliance to commitment, from duty to passion. Most of us go through life chasing goals, get the job, earn the promotion, hit the targets. And those goals can be motivating, yes, but they're not always fulfilling because we confuse achievement with purpose. We assume if we just reach the next level, then we'll feel satisfied. But personal growth doesn't come from climbing ladders. It comes from aligning with something meaningful. And great leaders understand that. They know that when people find their why, they unlock a well of motivation that is deeper, more sustainable, and more transformative than any external reward. A great leader sees potential in others, often before those individuals can see it themselves. And by sharing their why, they invite others to consider their own. They create an environment where self-reflection isn't just encouraged, it's expected. They ask questions that go beyond performance and numbers. What drives you? What do you believe in? What kind of impact do you want to make? These questions open a door to personal growth because they demand that we look inward before we look outward. And it's not just about asking questions. It's about modeling it. A leader who lives their why with integrity and consistency gives others permission to do the same. They become a mirror for purpose. People don't grow simply because they're told to. They grow because they're inspired to. Because they've witnessed someone else living with such clarity that they can't help but ask themselves, what's my why? When a leader begins with why, they foster a culture of meaning. And in that kind of culture, people are more resilient, they're more creative, they're more connected to their work and to each other. Purpose becomes the fuel for growth. It's what keeps people going when things get hard. It's what helps them navigate change. It's what helps them bounce back from failure. And let's be clear, inspiring others to find their why isn't about manipulation, it's about service. It's about creating the conditions for others to thrive, not because it benefits the organization, but because it honors the humanity of the individuals within it. That's what great leaders do. They don't just push for better results, they pull out the best in people. They believe that every person has a unique contribution to make, and their job is to help them discover what that is. This kind of leadership requires humility. It requires vulnerability. It requires the willingness to lead from the inside out, to speak not just from the head, but from the heart. But when a leader leads this way, when they dare to start with why, they don't just grow organizations, they grow people. And that, more than anything, is the legacy of great leadership. When you look at the most successful teams, organizations, or movements, there's one thing they all have in common: psychological safety. It's the foundation upon which great leadership builds trust, innovation, and personal growth. Without it, even the most capable individuals struggle to reach their potential. Psychological safety, at its core, is the belief that you won't be humiliated or penalized for speaking up, making mistakes, or expressing new ideas. It's the understanding that your voice matters, that you're allowed to take risks without fear of retribution, and that your contributions are valued, even if they are imperfect or unconventional. Great leaders understand that, and they actively foster an environment where this safety can thrive. The irony is that for many leaders, creating a space where others can freely contribute isn't always intuitive. Most leaders are motivated to push for results. They want outcomes and they want them fast. But without psychological safety, results come at a steep price. When people feel they must hide their mistakes, avoid taking risks, or conform to an ideal that isn't authentic to them, the cost is not just poor performance, but lost potential. A lack of safety creates a culture of fear. and fear kills growth. On the flip side, when psychological safety is present, growth thrives. People aren't afraid to speak up and share their ideas. They feel empowered to take ownership of their work, knowing that they won't be ridiculed if things don't go as planned. They also feel a deep sense of belonging. And that's crucial because when people feel like they belong, they are more likely to be fully engaged in their work, which directly impacts their ability to grow and contribute. It's the sense that their ideas, their mistakes, and their very presence matter. Now, a key question for leaders is, how do you build psychological safety? First, it starts with the leader's behavior. If you, as a leader, are quick to punish mistakes, criticize, or shut down dissenting opinions, you will create an atmosphere where people are afraid to second-guess themselves and innovation will stifle. But when a leader models openness, vulnerability, and respect for all contributions, it sets the tone for everyone else. Leaders must be willing to admit when they don't know something or when they make a mistake. When they show humility, they give others permission to do the same. Furthermore, creating psychological safety isn't about being soft or allowing a free-for-all. It's about setting clear expectations around behavior and performance, but always doing so in a way that fosters trust and collaboration. It's about giving constructive feedback, not criticism, and doing so in a way that focuses on the process, not the person. It's about encouraging healthy debate and disagreement while maintaining respect for one another's views. Leaders must be willing to say, I don't have all the answers, and create space for others to contribute and learn. The benefits of psychological safety are profound. Teams that are psychologically safe have higher levels of collaboration, better decision-making, and increased creativity. They are more resilient in the face of challenges because people feel supported to try new things and learn from failure. In these environments, individuals are more likely to take initiative and push their own boundaries because they know they are not risking their dignity or their job by doing so. The result is that people grow, not just professionally, but personally as well. They gain confidence in their abilities and they feel empowered to take ownership of their growth and development. But it's not just about the individual. When psychological safety is embedded into the fabric of an organization, it has a ripple effect. Teams become more aligned, collaborative, innovative, trust spreads, and so does a sense of responsibility. People are more invested in each other's success and well-being, and that creates an atmosphere of mutual respect. It's the kind of environment where people are not just working for the organization, but with each other, where every individual's growth contributes to the collective success. For leaders, this means embracing the role of a facilitator, someone who actively works to create an environment of trust and openness rather than simply dictating instructions or seeking to control. When leaders prioritize psychological safety, they set the stage for lasting growth, both for individuals and the organization as a whole. Ultimately, great leadership doesn't simply teach skills or demand results. It creates the space for individuals to be themselves, to take risks, and to make mistakes without fear of repercussion. When people feel safe to be their true selves, they are free to grow, innovate, and contribute to the team's success. That's where leadership magic happens. Leaders inspire growth by creating an environment that prioritizes trust and mutual respect. One of the most powerful ways to inspire personal growth is through the practice of empathy. Empathy is not just about understanding how someone else feels. It's about actively connecting with others, seeing their perspectives, and making them feel heard and valued. Empathy is the bridge between leader and follower, and it's essential for growth, both personal and collective. When a leader approaches challenges with empathy, it doesn't just help in the short term, it creates long-lasting change. Leaders who are empathetic make the workplace more humane and compassionate. This doesn't mean being overly soft or passive. Rather, it's about understanding the emotional undercurrents of the workplace and recognizing that each individual's experience and journey are unique. When you show empathy, you help people feel seen and heard, which in turn gives them the confidence to take risks, express ideas, and push their boundaries. But empathy isn't something you just turn on or off. It's a mindset that needs to be cultivated and practiced consistently. Empathy means listening more than speaking and being willing to sit in discomfort as you work to understand the struggles or concerns of others. A great leader takes the time to connect with their team members on a human level, to understand what drives them, what challenges they face, and where they want to go. This personalized understanding is what allows leaders to guide others toward their personal growth. One of the reasons empathy is so vital to leadership is that it enables leaders to build trust. Trust is foundational to any high-performing team. Without trust, it's impossible to have open, honest communication or collaboration. People who don't trust their leaders will not feel empowered to share their ideas, express their concerns, or take the risks necessary for growth. However, when trust exists, it creates an environment where people feel secure enough to be vulnerable, to make mistakes, and to learn and grow from them. Sympathy also fosters inclusivity. It encourages leaders to embrace diverse perspectives, which is key to innovation and personal growth. In a world where the workplace is becoming more diverse, empathy allows leaders to connect with people from different backgrounds and experiences. It helps ensure that no one feels excluded or marginalized, which opens the door for new ideas and creative solutions. As a leader, showing empathy can have a profound effect on your team's engagement. When people feel understood, they are more likely to feel valued and respected, which naturally leads to greater engagement and commitment to their work. Empathy is the secret ingredient to a positive, high-performance culture. It motivates people to go the extra mile because they feel connected to the leader and the organization's larger purpose. A leader who practices empathy will often see their team members flourish and take initiative in ways they may not have before. This happens because the employees feel heard, their opinions are taken seriously, and they feel supported in their growth. This creates an atmosphere where people are not afraid to speak up or take action, knowing their ideas will be respected, even if they are not fully developed. This empowerment drives personal growth because it gives individuals the opportunity to challenge themselves and move beyond their comfort zones. Another important element of empathy in leadership is understanding the emotional needs of others. Leaders who understand how to manage and respond to emotions, both their own and others, are more equipped to create an atmosphere of support and growth. When a team member is struggling, a leader's empathetic response, whether it's offering encouragement, offering assistance, or simply listening, makes a tremendous difference in that individual's ability to overcome the challenge and move forward. For empathy to truly inspire growth, leaders must also be willing to show vulnerability. Great leaders aren't afraid to admit their own struggles, fears, or mistakes. They show that it's okay to be imperfect and that learning and growth come from those imperfections. When leaders model vulnerability, they allow others to do the same, which leads to greater trust and stronger relationships. This transparency builds a sense of belonging and makes it easier for others to contribute, knowing that they too can take risks and make mistakes without judgment. But they also encompass fluency. When combined with trust, transparency, and vulnerability, creates a powerful foundation for personal growth. Leaders who embody these qualities are able to inspire their teams to reach higher, push farther, and achieve more. It's through this deep connection with others, through empathy, that leaders are able to nurture personal growth, helping individuals discover their potential and find the courage to pursue it. In the end, empathy is not just a tool for leadership, it's a way of being. Leaders who make empathy a fundamental part of their approach to leadership create environments where individuals thrive. They inspire confidence, trust, and growth in those around them, making the organization stronger and more resilient in the process. And when leaders do this, they set the stage for lasting impact, not just within the organization, but in the lives of every individual they lead. To truly inspire personal growth, great leaders foster a culture of learning and continuous development. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It requires intentionality, and a great leader ensures that growth is built into the very fabric of the organization. One of the key ways this is achieved is through consistent feedback. Feedback is a tool that, when used properly, becomes the foundation for development. But feedback isn't just about identifying what went wrong or what needs to be fixed. Great leaders use feedback as a way to highlight strengths, celebrate progress, and, most importantly, offer guidance.